Welcome back to another episode of Becoming an Online Sales Queen. Today is a very special episode. I've even put on my CEO t-shirt for this because you're going to be getting a little pep talk today, girls. If you have been making excuses, if you have been not doing the things that will move you forward in your business, today we're going to change all that. Okay. So I've put my CEO t-shirt on because I mean business. I've even got my fluffy microphone out for you because this is a really important topic. I know I'm obviously having a little joke with you about my t-shirt, but actually so many women make excuses. And I have to admit, I am also included in that list of women. Okay. So I am not exclusive to this. I am not coming at this from my ivory tower. I make excuses too. Why do we do it though? Why do we do it? We do it because our brain is hardwired to keep us safe. Your brain will seek out the easy options like a heat-seeking missile. Your brain is wired for safety, it's wired for comfort. So you can kind of forgive yourself a little bit for making excuses because it's only natural, it's only normal, right? Your brain is hardwired to do it. However, I know that you have big goals. I know that you want to create success. I know that you want to make more money. In fact, I've called this episode Make Money, Not Excuses, because I know that for so many of you, your number one goal is to build a life you can't wait to jump out of bed to live. And that includes freedom, time freedom, money freedom. It includes you being able to choose. And we don't get all the things that we want in life without a little bit of hard work first, okay? Or rather, that is what I'm telling Oliver, who is 11. Those of you that don't know me, I have an 11-year-old son, and some days he loves the fact that his mum is a business mentor, and other days not so much. So yeah, let's be really honest about why we make excuses. It's because our brain is hardwired for safety, for comfort, and so we can understand why it happens, but because you've got bigger goals, we need to flip the script. Okay. We need to change things up. Now, if this is the first time that you've ever found this podcast, I am so excited that you did. I would love you to stick around. I would love you to hit the review button, leave a little review. I'd love you to subscribe over on YouTube. That would be incredible so that you get alerted to future episodes. We come out every single Wednesday, first thing in the morning. I know a lot of you listen while you're walking the dog or doing your Wednesday chores. So yeah, if this is the first time that you found us, really, really happy that you did. And if you are a regular listener, welcome back. Okay. So making excuses. What I want to, I guess let's first talk about what inspired me to even share this topic today is because I was having a chat with a client of mine yesterday. We were in a group coaching call and it was her spot in the hot seat. And she said, "Oh, Rach, I really needed you at the weekend. I was running a retreat and there was a group of ladies there who were loving what we were doing. And a couple of them even made a comment and said they would love to do more of it. Yeah, they'd love to be in my group. They would love to experience what I was sharing with them more regularly." And then she said, "But for some reason, I didn't invite them to join my group." And I said, "Well, what was going on there?" And do you know what she said? "I didn't have time." And me being me, in a loving way, I held up the mirror to her and said, "Was it really that you didn't have time, or was that an excuse? Could you have made time?" And she said, "Yeah, of course I could have made time, because it doesn't actually take that long to say to a group of people who you're in the same room as, who are expressing to you that they would love to do this more regularly. It really doesn't take very many minutes at all, or even very much energy at all, to say, well, I'm so glad that you would love to do this more regularly, because I would love to do this more regularly with you as well. In fact, I run a group where we do this every week or every month, or I can't remember the detail, but I do this all the time. I would love to invite you to join that group. Hands up who wants me to get in touch after we finish here today so that I can tell you a little bit more about it. Yeah, it didn't need to be a really big pitch. It didn't need, PowerPoint slides or, order forms or contracts. It didn't need any of that. It just needed a powerful verbal invitation. And she couldn't find the words to do that. Yeah. And so that's a skill and a confidence thing, but not inviting them to work with her and then saying it was because of time is actually an excuse. Okay. So that conversation inspired this episode. The other thing that inspired this episode is I got up at 5:30 a.m. today and I had personal training. It was arm day. So my arms are already starting to ache. And I was thinking on the way to the gym, on the way to see John, my personal trainer, I was thinking of all the reasons why I shouldn't be doing it. I was thinking of, I could be home in bed, like maintaining my energy so that I can have a really great day, like recording my podcast. I've got about 5 other videos to record today for social media for one of my team. She's given me some scripts and some things to do. So I was thinking, well, I could be at home getting an hour's more sleep so that I'm more refreshed, ready for the day. I was thinking of all the excuses in the world that I could have given why I should not be on my way to the gym at 6 a.m. on a dark, cold morning. I'm not yet used to the fact that winter's coming. And do you know what I said to myself? Rachel, stop it. This is the 1% club, right? There's less than 1% of the UK right now who are doing what you're doing. Less than 1% of people are in the car on their way to go out and work out their body and, work their muscles, build their health, work on their well-being for an hour in the freezing cold. There's less than 1% of people doing that, and you're doing it. So well done, you. So I was able to give myself a little pep talk and get myself back into a place of, okay, this might not be comfortable. This might not feel like exactly what I want to be doing, but I know once I've had that session, I will feel amazing. I know I'll be patting myself on the back. I know I'll feel proud of myself. I know that actually doing this personal training for an hour will give me more energy for the day than staying in bed for an hour. Okay. And I was right because I do feel amazing today. Those of you that are watching this on video, you'll see I've curled my hair. I've got like new makeup on. I've tried out a new lip combo today. I'm feeling really, really good. And that is not an accident. That's because I got my ass out of bed. I went and did the hard thing. I took the action that I knew was the less comfortable thing, but the thing that would help me the most in the long run. Okay. So this is where I turn the tables and ask you, what is the hard thing that you're putting off? What is the thing that you are making excuses about? Where is it that you are saying, oh, I would have done that, but I don't have time? Where is it that you are saying, I would have reached out to do that speaking gig, but I'm sure they've already got speakers lined up. Yeah, I would have followed up the client after the sales call, but I'm sure that she just didn't have the money. Yeah, I would have hired the VA. I would have hired the social media manager, but, I'm probably not their ideal client. Where are you making excuses? Where are you keeping yourself small? Where are you staying in your comfort zone when really you know deep down that the results that you want, the money you want to make, the freedom you want to create, the business you want to build is not in your comfort zone. You know it's in your growth zone. You know it's in your stretch zone. You know it's an edge for you, and you're choosing not to go to the edge. You're choosing to stay in the middle and stay safe. Where is that happening for you right now? Yeah, be honest. If you have got a pen and paper close by, I would strongly encourage you to write this down. Yeah, just write at the top of the page, where am I choosing to stay comfortable? Where am I choosing to believe that doing the easier thing is really the thing I need to do? Where am I talking myself into easy because it feels better than hard? But actually, I know deep down that the hard thing is what I should be doing. Yeah, for the result that you want, what is the hard thing that you need to do? And I want you to notice, like, what is your go-to excuse? What is the thing that you like whip out of your back pocket really easily? Usually, for a lot of us girlies, it's time, because you're busy. I know you're busy. If you're a mum, if you're a wife, you're a daughter, you're a friend, there's always somebody messaging you. I know there is. There's always chores around the house. There's always deliveries. There's always things to do. There's always something to clean. There's always an action in the business. There's always something, and there will always be something. And I guess that's my point, right? There will always be something. Your to-do list as a business owner, this is something that I had to make peace with a long time ago, because I was finding myself saying, oh, it'll be all right when that's done. It'll be all right once I've completed that. My diary will be clear when I've done that. And I had to make peace with the fact the to-do list will never be done. Never. My calendar will never be completely clear. Ever. Because that isn't what I've built. Yeah, that isn't what I wanted. I didn't want my calendar to be clear. So why am I hoping and praying for a day when my calendar is completely clear? And now I do have Wednesdays and Fridays that are completely clear, because that's how I've designed it. Yeah. But where are you saying things to yourself when really you're like, that isn't really what I want to do, but it's what I've done today because it was easy and safe. Okay. Write this down. Get really honest. Maybe go look yourself in the mirror. Yeah. And say, hey, babe, I know that you want to create this result, but right now you're telling yourself to do this instead. And that's BS. You need to stop doing that. Yeah. Get honest. Look yourself in the mirror. Yeah. Look yourself straight in the eye. Call yourself out. Have a little word with yourself. Maybe you even want to listen back to this podcast on repeat. Yeah. But get yourself out of comfort zone. The key thing for me, well, I would love you to know two things. Well, one thing is an action and one thing is a belief. Okay. So the action I want you to take from this episode is one thing, even if it's a baby step. What one thing could you do today? No excuses, that will move you closer to your goal, right? That's the action. What one thing could you do, baby step or big step, doesn't matter. What one thing could you do today, no excuses, to move you closer to your goal? And the second thing is a belief. Now, I want you to really tune into the belief, because this will keep you moving forward forevermore. You have to notice and fully believe and align with that your desire for the outcome outweighs your fear of doing the thing. Let me say that again. Your desire for the outcome, your desire for the thing on the other side of the hard step, your desire for the outcome has to be bigger, has to be stronger, has to be more powerful. Your desire has to be more powerful than your fear of doing the thing. So your fear might be, I don't really like selling. Your fear might be, I don't want to be rejected. Your fear might be, well, I've never done it before. What if I get it wrong? Your fear might be judgment. Yeah. Whatever it is that you are fearing, whatever it is that's stopping you go to the edge and pulling you back and keeping you comfort, keeping you in comfort, keeping you in safety zone, your desire for the outcome, until it outweighs the fear, you will always stay stuck. Always. When your desire outweighs the fear and you take the action, you do it messy, you do it scared, you do it filled with a little bit of fear and self-doubt, and that's okay. Yeah. When your commitment to the outcome is stronger than that little voice that says don't do it, that's when you'll create amazing results in your business. That's when things will really go to the next level. That is when you will get out of your own way and you will start collapsing time on your goals. Okay. I really hope this little pep talk today has put a spring in your step. I really hope that you are feeling inspired and activated and energized and ready to go and do the one thing that you've been putting off. Okay. Hope you've enjoyed it, ladies. I cannot wait to share next week's episode with you. I'm not going to spoil it by telling you what it's all about, but it is a good one. I will see you next week. Don't forget, if you're not subscribed on YouTube, hit the little bell, hit the subscribe button. If you want to leave me a podcast review, I would absolutely love that. And as always, my Instagram DMs are open for you. If you've got any ideas of future shows, future episodes that you want me to record, let me know. And if there's anything that came up for you from this podcast episode, then again, drop into my DMs. I would love to hear from you.